We have breaking news right now. A CHP pursuit happening, and the want is assault with a deadly weapon.
KCAL 9's Desmond Shaw live in Sky 9 for us with the very latest. Des?
Yeah, Juan and Susie, here we are westbound on the 91. We just crossed the 57 freeway. This came out of the Riverside area. We understand that it was reportedly assault with a deadly weapon, and the weapon was this vehicle, and allegedly against the suspect's ex-girlfriend. That's what we're hearing, and there's supposedly just one person in this Ford SUV. I believe this is going to be an Explorer. You see fairly high speeds right now considering the traffic, and we just watched him cut from the left lane all the way over towards the right-hand shoulder. And in fact, when he was in that carpool lane, we just saw a CHP park there, and it sure looked like they were trying to use a spike strip to disable this guy. And then he zoomed right over to the right shoulder and kind of dodged them at the last second. So CHP definitely getting aggressive with the tactics out here at rush hour. Westbound on the 91 freeway as we head through Anaheim out of the Riverside area. It started off of Van Buren, came through the Santa Ana Canyon. We're waiting to see Orange County's, I believe it's going to be the Duke helicopter based in Huntington Beach. They've been dispatched to get over the scene. We had a Riverside PD-1 that was overhead on this, but they're getting ready to head back home as soon as Orange County engages. A couple of units in pursuit here, westbound on the 91 as we head through Anaheim. Juan and Susie.
And Desmond, as you mentioned, this is rush hour traffic time. Obviously not a lot of people out there right now, but can you see any traffic ahead?
Yes, there is. Well, we'll see. A little bit of traffic ahead. It's definitely not as bad as the eastbound side. The eastbound side is typically the volume side in the afternoon. Although in the Anaheim area, neither side of the 91 tends to get too horrible at this side of the afternoon. It's usually the Santa Ana Canyon side of the East 91. Here you see another CHP officer maybe getting ready to get in on this. But if he continues with the 91, I believe he's not going to encounter any real traffic until he gets west of the 5 freeway. But that does certainly seem to be his trajectory so far.
Yeah, I was going to say, Desmond, traffic right now seems to be distributed pretty evenly. Right there, he's in the carpool lane, as you saw there, the diamond lane. Not a lot of traffic ahead of him, but there's plenty of traffic to the right, and we're seeing now a car just in front of him. We'll see if they move over when they see the action going. You see our street tracker turning on right there, so you see that they are on the 91 freeway. Going on right now. Again, we believe one person in that car you see there in the center shot in the carpool lane right there. The want is assault with a deadly weapon. Apparently this all happened from car to car. Luckily, the victim, the intended target or non-intended target, was not injured, so that's a good thing. But right around 4 o'clock, right around the start of this newscast, this pursuit took off, and we just got above it just a few moments ago. It started near Van Buren and the 91 freeway, so quite a bit of already distance.
Yeah, sure, traveling a great distance already, sure. Yeah. And the victim, Juan, we understand, was the suspect's ex-girlfriend. Okay. Some sort of fight or altercation ensued at Van Buren and the 91 freeway, and we believe that the car-to-car the victim was actually involved in that car-to-car. We don't know if it was her car specifically or if she was hit somehow. We don't know the circumstances of the fight that happened, but we do know that this man is now running away from the CHP. And the CHP actually, as Desmond mentioned, tried to deploy a spike strip. Was that on the freeway actually?
Yeah, and Susie, it looked like they were sitting in the center divider, and I saw a couple of officers out there, and it certainly motioned like they threw a spike strip out, and then I saw the suspect dodge to the right at the last second. So unfortunately, he was a little privy to the situation. You can see right now we're at kind of normal highway speeds. A little bit of a clog as you approach the 5. This can be a pretty busy intersection, and you know, traffic really has been returning in the afternoons quite a bit here early on in the pandemic. Of course, all the freeways seem to be wide open all the time, but within the last month or so, we've really started to see afternoon traffic pick back up between the hours of 3 and 6 o'clock. So he's hitting a little bit of that now as he gets ready to cross the 5 freeway, leaving Anaheim, headed towards Buena Park and Cerritos. It's usually west of here where we see some heavier traffic approaching the 605. As I gaze a couple of miles up, it looks like he is perhaps going to hit that, but he may be able to dodge some of it if he stays in the carpool lane. So perhaps we'll see CHP again if they have the opportunity to get ahead with some spike strips. Maybe they'll be successful, but they have eyes on this from the ground and from the air. westbound on the 91 as we get ready to cross the 5 freeway.
Indeed, Desmond, and we just saw right here, 91 freeway, the Artesia freeway. It looks like he's staying on the freeway, or is he venturing off?
He's still on the freeway. I believe this is going to be, just zoom out and check the carpool. Yeah, the carpool connector that continues onto the westbound 91. It kind of separates right there. So it looks like he's going to stay on the westbound side of the 91. And we'll zoom in here that our speed tracker here is showing you that despite what it just said there for a second, is still going at, well, kind of between 65 and 75 miles an hour. So at least not seeing the really, really crazy speeds. It would be hard for him to achieve it anyway, and we're saying it him because we did hear that it is one male in the car. So kind of fairly typical speed so far. The only dangerous maneuver we've seen was kind of when he's cut to the right at the last second to avoid the spike strip. And also at points he has been driving along the right-hand shoulder, so not afraid to do that, but fortunately no crazy super dangerous speeds at the very least at this point. Juan and Susan.
And are we in the Buena Park area now, Desmond?
Yeah, Buena Park now that we cross the 5 freeway, so we'll be leaving Buena Park shortly and headed towards Cerritos, and should be encountering a little bit of heavier traffic if he stays on the westbound 91. Like I said, the interchange at the 605 is typically fairly slow this time in the afternoon. I'll zoom out for a second just to kind of show you just a couple of units in pursuit so far. I believe just 2 or 3. I'll zoom back in and still waiting to hear if we have Orange County's helicopter overhead as well. But they do have really good eyes on him from the ground, and they had it from the sky from PD1. We were just waiting to see if Orange County was going to engage. And I know we were talking about the situation earlier regarding this domestic violence situation. That's the alleged violation. We did hear that the victim was okay. Apparently the cars crashed, so it sounds like this person may have purposely crashed into his ex-girlfriend, but our understanding is that the ex-girlfriend is okay.
Yeah, Desmond, you know, this is one of those pursuits. They come up every once in a while. We haven't seen any crazy activity. It's almost like we're just watching a car in traffic make its way through several of the freeways here in Southern California. So nothing too crazy, but we do see the CHP behind him picking up some speed here. But again, nothing too crazy. For the most part, he's stayed in the carpool lane. He transitioned, stayed on the carpool lane. Now, of course, he's moving around, see what he's going to do here. He possibly could get off the freeway here, but this is one of those that we just kind of have to wait and see if he's going to pull over, if he's going to stop. He has an opportunity now to get off here. There was an exit there, but it looks like he's still going straight, Susie.
And then, Juan, you know, we always ask the question, especially in an SUV, which, you know, typically are what we call gas guzzlers, right?
Right.
You know, you wonder all the way from Riverside, it's quite the mileage so far, taking that shoulder right there to get around that white car, and quite the distance from Riverside to Cerritos area, the Artesia area, and we're wondering when this car could run out of gas, right? Could that be one of the
and look what's happening here.
factors that make
a little
this
more
guy
traffic.
stop? Yeah.
So he's coming into a little more traffic. Now we are seeing just more of that evading. He was in the carpool lane for most of the time, and now he's just going to be weaving in and out through lanes there, trying to stay away from the CHP as best he can. But look at that's a tight squeeze right there. I thought he was going to try to make that one. It's almost like he's creating his own traffic break, Desmond.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of as I predicted, you are seeing some of the heavier traffic here. We're not really zigging and zagging now. Indeed, as we approach the 605, the closer we get to the 605, the heavier the traffic is going to be. And now we are kind of starting to see a little bit of that desperation kicking in, and you're really not afraid to just cut drivers off. You see getting kind of close there between a couple of cars, kind of getting right in between lanes, going to the right-hand shoulder. So just as things were looking fairly calm by pursuit stand, now you start to see a little bit of the crazier driving. Still only going 50 miles an hour, but the traffic definitely getting heavy at this point. And you see CHP right there behind him. Now it looks like he may. Let's see if he's going to. Now it was looking like for a second like he was going to go off the freeway at Carmenita, but not the case. Right on the right-hand shoulder. Now getting basically the speed limit, 65 miles an hour. Along the right-hand shoulder, really dangerous because, you know, this is where CHP, whenever there's debris in lanes, this is where they get all that debris and leave it for Caltrans when they make their regular rounds to pick up. So you never know when there's going to be a big chunk of metal or a ladder or anything or a stalled vehicle that could be right in front of you, driving, you know, this fast on the right shoulder. Definitely a more dangerous situation now as we come through Cerritos getting closer towards the 605 interchange. Carmenita was the last exit. I believe we're going to be coming up to Norwalk Boulevard here shortly, right about 65 miles an hour. Looks like he's, maybe getting off of the freeway now. This is going to be Artesia Bloomfield. We'll see what he does now as he gets into Cerritos. This could get really dangerous, guys.
Indeed, this does get a lot more dangerous once he's off freeways and he's on surface streets. Look at that crazy left-hand turn he did there. Luckily, I think it was on a green light because the other car also made that green light. But now we're going to see probably heavier traffic. There's the problem with pedestrians, other cars, cyclists, like you see that cyclist crossing that bridge there, that overpass. So a lot more dangerous. But Desmond, does this open police up to different tactics to bring this to an end? Obviously, a spike strip is more difficult. You can't do it on the freeway. That's more of a pit maneuver. But what are the options here?
Yeah, well, if he's driving at speeds like this, they're not going to have an opportunity for a pit maneuver. He's going 70, you can see right there by our speed tracker as we are on Artesia Boulevard westbound right now. So going just about as fast as he was on the freeway now on surface streets as we're on Artesia. He did get lucky, timed that light along with the other traffic, so he was able to keep going. At least he didn't run the red light there and slow down and make a turn onto northbound Norwalk Boulevard. So coming out of the Cerritos area, kind of more of an industrial zone. Well, actually, that's not true. There are some homes here in the area. Traffic fairly light at this point. CHP still going to be in pursuit. I'm just widening out to see how far they may be away. They may have backed off a little bit because this was starting to get a little bit on the dangerous side. Northbound on Norwalk Boulevard, so now kind of going up towards the 5 freeway and some moderate traffic. The pit maneuver, definitely an option if the opportunity presents itself. It's definitely not an automatic thing. They have to get, my understanding is the officer has to get clearance from their supervisor to do it, and then it's kind of a judgment call based on traffic around them. We've certainly seen some great pit maneuvers recently, even during rush hour traffic. You covered one last week, Juan, in downtown LA. They were able to bring that one to a conclusion fairly quickly, but it's all just really obviously dependent on circumstance and especially on how many innocent people are around. Yeah,
indeed, Desmond. And you know, Susie, this makes me so nervous when you see something like this right there, crossing the double yellow.
On the wrong side of the road,
wrong
getting
side
so
of the
close
road.
to that other car.
Alondra, it looks like he's
right
making.
Turn. Oh
yep.
boy,
oh.
Such a wide. It was supposed to be a wide turn, but then he changed his mind and kept going straight. Obviously, the CHP wants to get to this guy because he is obviously considered dangerous when this was an assault with a deadly weapon using his car. Now, vehicular assault occurs when a person uses a car or a truck or another automobile to cause or threaten to cause physical injury to another person, and we believe that's exactly what happened. We don't know if that his ex-girlfriend was outside of the car and she was near her car or inside her car, but Desmond mentioned that we do believe that the ex-girlfriend of the suspect is okay, but California actually does not have a statute, I should say, specifically saying that that's a crime. However, a person could be charged with assault with a deadly weapon for using that vehicle to harm someone else. In this case, that is exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
So they obviously want this guy, get him off the street because they know he is dangerous.
So that's a good thing to clear up. So there was no weapon involved. The deadly weapon is the car. Is that what you're saying, Susie?
Exactly.
Yeah. My goodness. All right, here we are on surface streets. Obviously, it looks like a residential neighborhood. The streets have narrowed down just a little bit as well, so not a lot of places for this guy to go. Except that middle turning lane, and of course he's got traffic in front of him, CHP behind him, and of course he wants to get as much distance between the CHP and himself as possible. So right now making a right-hand turn there. I believe this is Arlee Avenue if we're
Very
looking there at the
street,
tracker. And he's making yet another turn, so this could be coming to an end or not. We'll see what's going to be happening in the next few minutes. What do you see from your vantage point there, Desmond?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have seen things gotten considerably more dangerous as we got on surface streets. You saw him blow through that red light and kind of make a weird turn, and vehicles had to stop for him. So here we are in this kind of random residential neighborhood, but is it really random? A lot of times, well, okay, coming to a stop. Let's see what happens here. If now he's continuing. If he looks like he may have been yelling something out the window. I'm just zooming out to see if there were. Yeah, there is an officer right behind him. So it sounds like maybe he was yelling something at the officer there on Clarkdale Avenue and coming up to, I believe, an East-West Street, this Mapledale Street. So we're kind of in the Norwalk area south of the 5 freeway. And again, we always have to wonder now, why is it that this suspect came to this neighborhood? Is this where he lives, or perhaps has friends here that might be offering him safe harbor for a little bit? They're making a maneuver now onto Pioneer Boulevard. So unfortunately, things have gotten more dangerous here in the Norwalk area now that we are on surface streets, Juan and Susie.
Yeah,
Indeed.
As you saw, a lot of homes around there, and I'm sure people are out and about. It's a sunny day, which we haven't seen in a while, and it gets so dangerous when we see these kind of speeds on a residential street. Before, he was kind of slowing down, maybe 15 miles per hour, going through those some of those narrower residential areas. But this is getting so scary because you just never know. You never know what they're thinking. You don't know what their mentality is right now. Obviously, what just transpired, as we told you earlier, with his ex-girlfriend. We don't know how upset he is from that or what exactly transpired prior to that.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that CHP, obviously, they're considering right now as they engage in this pursuit. But as you can see, stopping, slowing down, going on the wrong side of the road again, and this is so scary to watch. Dear goodness. Just making that tight left turn there, barely missing that car too.
We can get a good shot of him there just a second ago when he turned there. We can see it's a man in the driver's seat right there. And yet again, he's been threading the needle just about everywhere he's gone. When he's gotten into some very dangerous situations, he's able to skate right through it. Here's another intersection where he's making yet another turn. Again, doesn't mind crossing onto opposite lanes of traffic or any of these other stunts that we've seen him do. So dangerous for sure out there. And once again, back onto neighborhood streets. You can see there another car he just crossed there. Everybody's been pretty fortunate, but of course we know that doesn't last. The longer this lasts, the more danger, of course, that could happen out there.
And picking up some speed right now in that residential neighborhood, which scares me because just blow through that stop sign right there. It's funny, Juan, because on the freeway, we didn't mention any reckless driving. We were talking, pulling over right now.
Pulling over.
Maybe getting out of the car.
See if he's going to come to a stop now. Yeah, getting out of the vehicle. So let's see what's going to happen now. If he's going to
like he's surrendering.
He's just getting right out,
what?
looking. Yeah, just
What's he doing?
Not exactly surrendering, just kind of getting out and looks like he's going to maybe walk into this garage. If this is and it looks like there's someone here
waiting for
on
him?
the porch who may be waiting to welcome this person. Let's see if it's actually no.
He's still on the sidewalk.
Now that we get around this tree, let's see.
There's a fence
what's
there.
Gonna happen here.
He's on the phone, it looks like, Desmond. Yeah.
It looks like he's making some sort of
with
phone
weapons
call.
drawn. They're asking this guy to comply, but he's not complying yet. Looks like he's asking to make a phone call, but CHP's having none of it here. They're going to want this guy to drop the phone and get this to it. Look at words being exchanged here. This is a pretty tense situation, guys.
It sure is, and you can see there he hasn't changed his focus from his cell phone right there, but officers have now put themselves into position there. We see that officer there on the right side of your screen, and there's one just on the other side of that white SUV. Perhaps he's sending out a text to somebody, letting him know what's going to happen, that he's going to be arrested and that he needs to be bailed out tonight at some point. So
really adamant about getting this message across to
he's
whomever it might be.
He's sending a message to somebody.
Yeah. As we watch this happening right now, this is the end of the car part of the pursuit that we've been following since the early in the 4 o'clock hour. We are following breaking news here on KCAL 9. On the right side of your screen, you're watching the pursuit as it was happening on the 91 freeway. It started on the 91 freeway at Van Buren. We believe that the suspect hit his ex-girlfriend's car, and that was the want originally, assault with a deadly weapon, as Riverside Police Department was calling it, and the CHP got involved from there as it went down the 91 freeway into the Anaheim area, and that's where we picked it up. And this person driving in and out of lanes, weaving through the freeway traffic there, as you can see, and drove a lot on the shoulder and got off in the city of Norwalk or Cerritos area off of Bloomfield, and kind of made his way throughout the Norwalk area along residential streets, surface streets, making some crazy turns and maneuvers, and then just sort of pulled over one in Norwalk.
Indeed, right there, blocking the driveway of this home or this group of homes there. What's interesting, the gentleman you see on the other side of the fence there in that white t-shirt, they haven't asked him to go back inside or to move. Wonder if he's related to the man that they were chasing, if it's his father or somebody he might know.
Right.
But again,
Why that house specifically, right?
Why there? Why this man isn't scared? I wouldn't be standing outside if I saw something like this outside my
with
house.
police guns drawn, or CHP with their guns drawn.
Right.
Focused on this man right here, fixed on this man, and it
He's
looks
still
like
on the
he's
phone.
still making this phone call, Desmond.
Yeah, Juan and Susie, we see this person out here in the front yard, and it
Okay.
certainly looked like he was out there ready to.
He
to
threw
meet
his
him.
phone,
Okay,
Des.
now he did
You see
whatever he
that?
had to do. If he was sending a text or a phone call, and he just slid the phone under the fence. But this suspect treating this situation remarkably casually. Almost if he's just getting a speeding ticket or an expired, registration or something. Not that he was just involved in an assault with a deadly weapon circumstance and a pursuit across 3 counties. So see what he does now.
Maybe
Looks like
keys
he's,
and
throwing
wallet,
his
maybe?
wallet up against the wall. There you see another officer coming into the shot. So hopefully this person is going to comply. But it does certainly seem like the person on the other side of the fence conversing with him, hopefully telling him to just give up and comply with officers.
I'm wondering if he's just trying to negotiate, saying, maybe texting his girlfriend saying, hey, tell them I didn't mean it, or who knows what he's trying to do, negotiating even with police officers. He has his hands up now. Usually, he's going to turn around and most likely get on his knees and then flat down on the sidewalk if he can do it.
More family members
There he
of
goes.
that family coming out. It seems as though, from what we're watching, it looks like that person, the suspect, knows the owner of this home, the gentleman who came out. It seemed like, and him throwing his wallet towards the fence. I don't know if that was picked up yet, but it seemed like he was just leaving his wallet there, saying, "Hey, here's my wallet. Please keep it, for safekeeping." But it's unclear right now at this point. But it looks like he is complying for the most part with police or with CHP officers, yelling back either at the family or the officers. You can't tell.
Yeah, usually once he's down on the ground there, as we see him there with his legs crossed, they'll come in and handcuff him. They're going to check his car as well to make sure there's nobody inside, there's no weapons found, and just look for preliminary evidence if it's needed in this case. There you see the cuffs in the officer's right hand.
Looks like the LA County Sheriff's Department is also out there now.
Yep. Yeah, you can see there he's going to be brought into custody. Very interesting. Something that started off as an assault with a deadly weapon, that deadly weapon being the car, coming to an end less than an hour later. This apparently started, Susie, around 4 o'clock. We picked up on it maybe around 4:20 or so, and we've been above it. Glad to see the termination of this, where nobody was hurt, nobody was injured, and now it looks like officers are speaking to those 2 other people on the other side of the fence. I'm guessing maybe his parents. I don't know, but
it looks like they're very concerned, though. You can see that from their gesturing and expressions. We're going to take a quick break and show you more of the end to this pursuit after a quick break.